Anything you want to say, babes?
I just want to say thank you very much to everyone that's out there fighting for me. Seeing this come together, and the support has been amazing. I've got a table full of rock stars here that are all working tirelessly around the clock fighting for this cause with me. And I just want all you guys out there across the world to know that I'm going to justify your effort, and I'm going to come back stronger and bigger and badder. And once I get back on my feet, we're going to justify all this. Make sure that all you guys' efforts don't go unnoticed. We're going to come together and have a huge party.
We don't hear you. Can't hear you, Swede. We can't hear you, Swede.
How's that? What's up, girl? There it is. All right, there it is. All right, y'all. I know my dogs are watching, and if you ain't, I know you will be. And if you are watching and you ain't my dog yet, you will be, because I'm Sweet and I'm here to help you get busy living. Welcome to Elevated Underground Studios, coming at you live from Fort Walton Beach. I got my man Bleak Oblique the Architect in the house with me. And y'all, today is part 1 of a 10-part series we're going to be doing about how taking things for granted could get in the way of getting busy living. As y'all know, we took the first 75 shows to talk to you about getting busy living and what that means. It means something a little bit different to everybody, but essentially, it's all about living a purposeful, deliberate, intentional life. Deliberate, intentional sound like synonyms. Purposeful, deliberate sounds like synonyms, but it's not. A purpose is a big picture. That's how the world experiences you. And deliberate is a witness. That's how individuals experience you. And intentional is your insides and how you experience the world. And we want to get all 3 of those things aligned for you so that you can get through this life and actually achieve the type of dreams that you had when you were a kid. So first 75 shows talking about getting busy living. The next 10 shows, we're going to talk about the things that we take for granted that get in the way of us getting busy living. And number 1 thing, according to the experts of all time, people will die before they will speak in public. So we take the opportunity to speak to people for granted. Just one of the many things. What we're going to talk about today, we got extra special guests. They're not even really guests, are they? They are co-pilots. But first, since nothing is worth having, please help me welcome to the stage, out of Los Angeles, the fabulous, dynamic D-Rex. It's so weird having this mic in my hand.
I know. There's so many things that are different today. And if you are in the audience right now, I can see that some people are here. Say hello to us. There's so many things that are different today. So bear with us. Getting the right sound for this setup in Bleak's studio. They've been working on it for days, so we are not going to take that for granted. That was a lot of work, yes. And thank you so much for doing that, Bleak. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being our co-host. So exciting. Very good to see you again. If anybody missed the episode with Bleak as our special guest, oh my God, go back and watch it. It's incredible. Maybe after the fact, Swede, maybe link it up here so that people can click through, because
link right now.
Amazing and inspiring. So thanks for being here.
So good to be here, man. Just blessed and honored to be a part of this, and the fact that he wanted to do this here, the fact that y'all wanted to do this here. Yeah, it's been 2 days. It has been 2 days, but we here now.
Amen. Amen. Yeah. So we did an episode a while back with Oblique the Architect. We also did an episode a while back with Price on the Mic, and each one of these dudes had an opportunity to tell their stories individually. And we're crossing our fingers now. We're lucky to have Bleak here. We're crossing our fingers that Price on the Mic is going to be able to make an appearance too. We had it lined up, but he's working for this, and sometimes things get in the way. But I know he's out there working hard to get here. He might be on his way. Things might happen, things might not. But whether or not Price gets here, we are going to talk about how to avoid taking life for granted and why taking time for granted and arts and leisure is so important. Because isn't time what it's all about? And isn't it about trying to make the most of your time so that you earn the opportunity to relax and appreciate art and take advantage of leisure activities, right? So what we're going to do, we got the reason that we chose Bleak and Price to do this particular category, which is arts and leisure, is because these dudes both have had experiences in their lives that I'll let them share with you, where they had some perspective added about how this life and tomorrow is not promised. And once that experience happened to them, they have turned it around, and not only are they working for this to the point where they're making their ends meet and they're grinding and they're making a career and a happy life for themselves, but they also are exemplary citizens when it comes to not taking time for granted and figuring out a way to put some art and leisure into that scenario. It sounded like I had somebody over my shoulder. Uh-oh.
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 Uh-oh. Suck it now.
It is
God.
happening. It's happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Please.
Of course.
That
This
looks
is so
like-
exciting.
That looks heavy.
Yeah. I got your mic ready, brother.
Oh. This is my first experience holding a microphone like this for a whole show, and like I'm over here trying to use my phone. I gotta balance the mic on my chest. That's all right though.
Hey, man.
Things
you're
are
in a-
just
you're in a
gonna be
hip-hop studio.
different.
You're going to have to hold a microphone, son.
No doubt.
Things are just going to be different today. So yes, this is exciting. Things are going as planned, even if they go as planned right in front of your face today on this podcast. That is going to be the magic that we are handing you today. Magic of real-time action.
As we about to get started, D-Rex, why don't you talk a little bit about what we discussed, or about leisure, and
Oh.
and how
Yeah.
why it's important not to take that for granted.
Yeah. Well, we take a lot of things for granted. Today, we are only specifically talking about taking our leisure time for granted. And, I really do think that this is something I do pretty often. I work myself to the bone in order to get ahead. And I'm putting quotes around that because what does get ahead even mean? Because I actually read somewhere that humans need 3.5 to 5 hours a day of leisure time. And I was like,
Whoa.
what? Who? Huh? Like
When?
where? How? Right? And studies show that that is a healthy amount of leisure time every day. And I just can't believe that is what studies show we should have, because I'm not doing that. And I'm totally taking it for granted that I should be treating myself to more leisure time. I can create it. But I would really like to sit here and welcome Price first. So
What's up, pressing the mic?
Yeah, I feel welcome. Thank you.
Yes, we're glad
So
to
we
have
have
you,
the
game.
game set? You want to have it close because we have the game set. So
we got the game.
none of
So
us is
I
gonna
got to
be
get in.
there it
I got to
is.
get
Yeah,
in.
that's
on
good.
that.
There it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So
That's good.
You were just talking about the leisure. I mean, ultimately, you got to find the leisure while you're working. That's why they say if
That's-
you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Or if you have a job that's good enough for you to be able to maybe, I'm not gonna say slack off, but do a little bit of this for them, do a little bit of that for you. It's don't tell. Hey, if my job's watching, I would never do that. Speaking of, let me take my little lanyard off. Just had to take
No,
my
that's a
lanyard.
very interesting viewpoint. And it's like, well, maybe we should define leisure. Maybe we should define work when we talk about this,
Yeah, we're gonna get into this. First, I want to say, hey, what's up? Ruby Sellers is in the house. Hey, girl.
Hey,
Hey,
Rubes.
Hi, Ruby.
Ruby is in the house. We miss you, girl. We're gonna be canoeing this weekend, and you should be there.
You should be there.
Yes, for those of you that are familiar with these cats here, Strange Tang, Bleak the Architect, Price on the mic,
That's where I'll be at.
best artist in the Emerald Coast. How many years running, you guys?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Not to toot our own horn because I don't have one on me, but 5 years in a row, Beachcomber Award winners.
Nice. So these dudes, the reason that I'm in Florida this month. So as for those of you that have not seen this project that we're doing, I'm trying to execute 55 months in a row of at least one epic adventure every single month. And so as of right now, as of this month, we have got down 20 months.
Wow.
20 months.
Oh my God.
20
That's
months.
dope, dog.
How crazy is that?
That's cause for
Okay, I
celebration.
gotta change that. So how many to go?
So,
We got 35 to go.
wait. Okay, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So yeah, that's exactly right. 35 to go. Yes.
Yeah,
35 to
man.
go.
So
Yeah.
the month I got injured, I was supposed to go on. I was supposed to go to Cambodia for New Year's. If I'd made that trip, it would have been 55th month in a row.
Breast
On at
milk.
least one epic adventure every single month. But I chased that monkey, and as you can see now, I got this chair that I'm forever stuck in, and I was not able to make that 55th month happen. But we started a new streak back in September of 22, and now we're on month number 20 of 55 to go.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
the reason that we chose Florida for this month, and the reason we chose these men for this topic, is because it's all fits together. So for the longest time, when I first moved to Florida, the very first group of friends I made out of Niceville, Florida, and most of them are still really close to my heart to this day, showed me one of the most beautiful experiences in nature out here in Florida. They've got these coastal dune lakes, and they've got all these springs in Florida in the Panhandle. And so we go down the Blackwater River, and around every bend is sugar white sandy beaches. Every bend.
It is so beautiful.
And so when I met these cats a couple of years back, I was like, y'all, you got to come with me. You got to come with me on this 420 canoe trip that's coming up in April. And I think we might have met in like September, so we had plenty of lead time.
It was rapid.
Yeah. And so by the time we got to it, I had fallen in love with these personalities. I had fallen in love with the music, and everything just clicked. And by the time we got out on the river, these dudes actually did a show for us on the river.
Grand Finale Beach, baby.
Grand Finale Beach. So we're doing it again this Saturday. So anybody that's interested, if you're around this area, meet us at Blackwater Canoe Rental up on Deaton Bridge Road in Milton. We'll be there at 11 a.m. and then we're gonna float down the river. We're gonna take a night. We're taking the day trip, the short trip. So don't get on the long trip. You won't see us. Take the short trip, and we're gonna take a nice leisurely trip down the river. We're gonna stop on every beach, get out, reconvene, socialize, and then we'll all end up at the Grand Finale Beach, so that we can have that moment of togetherness and celebrate this tradition of not taking time for granted.
Oh, sucky,
Oh,
sucky
incredible. Incredible. This is so exciting.
And what reminded me of that is that Rubes, she's actually been in on it. What up, Swells is in the house.
Scoop, scoop.
Scooty
He said-
Wells.
What up, Scooty?
And we got Lil Boozy, Aaron Staff
Yeah.
in the house. Thanks for showing
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
Lil Booze. Love to see it.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I believe this 420 will be the 10-year anniversary of that trip. It was just the other day, but like I think it was 2014.
I think you're right, actually.
Was it 2014 that we did the grand finale?
Yeah, because we
I
got
believe
this
so.
space. We got this space not too long after that, because we were recording out of residential space before we got the commercial space.
Right.
I think he's right. I think this is the 10
Not only were we recording out of a residential space, we got evicted out of a residential space because somebody couldn't control the volume and the clientele.
I like my shit loud.
Got me
son.
evicted. They done took my deposit and all that, man.
I
Trip.
like my shit loud. son.
So, like I said, it's about the tradition. That's why I'm here in Florida this month. And but when it comes to getting busy living, when I came to after chasing the monkey and realizing that so many people had chipped in to keep me around, it's consumed me, and I was granted a purpose. And before we get too far into this, I've witnessed a very eloquent and impactful way of describing what it means to live on purpose, Mr. Architect.
I mean, at the end of the day, everything you do should be intentional and be on purpose. One of my favorite things to say to somebody is have a good day on purpose, because you get to decide how your day's going to go. And it literally starts from the moment your feet hit the ground. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what mood you're in. You can intentionally have a good day on purpose. And I think that a lot of people don't think about what that actually means. Like, are you living on purpose? Do you have a purpose? What does purpose mean to you? So if I'm living to be a musician and I go out here, everything I do should be on purpose. I'm gonna go have a good day on purpose. Okay, yeah, I gotta go to work to make this money. Okay, but what am I making this money for? Am I investing in myself? That changes the way that I go to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I may not even like my damn job. Some people don't like their damn job. I don't know if y'all have one of them jobs. I like my job personally. Me personally, I like mine. Yes, I do have a job. I like my job, but I also understand the purpose that I'm there. The restaurant industry isn't my purpose, but I go to there so I can fulfill my purpose. So And being happy can be purposeful. You know what I'm saying? I have to be happy so that I have children. So the way that I live my day is going to affect the way that I interact with them when my day is over. So everything is just living on purpose to me.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. Price on the mic.
Wow.
With so many purposes in your life recently added. So in that 10 years, by the way, I got to give a couple shout outs. What's up, girl? Kelly wishes that she was here. We wish you were here too.
Hi, Kelly.
But I got an extra special mention right here. Look at this. I got a story to tell y'all. So this man, my man, Levesque, Chris Levesque.
Hey,
what's
Chris.
up, my man?
He was at Vortex Springs. I remember meeting him. He had the coolest damn cooler I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
With the speakers and everything like that. I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
So Chris Levesque is one of the old school homies and one of the original gangsters when it comes to getting out on the 420 canoe trip. Chris has actually lent his services and escorted a crowd of us up there. Chris used to have a limo service. I don't know if he still got that going on, Chris. But he's taken quite a few people up to the river for us. And just like they were saying, 10 years ago, the 420 trip got rained out because it had flooded. And so we weren't able to go down the river that year, 2014,
Right.
remember? Or 2015. No, it was 2014.
One of 'em.
It was 2014. So that year couldn't have been a 10-year anniversary because we know what the 10-year anniversary is. Because Levesque met the woman he's going to marry, Sean, on this Saturday.
Congratulations.
Imagine that. So 2014, the canoe trip in 2014 got rained out, so we had to take it to a local spring. So instead of floating down the river, we all just partied around the spring. Guys put on a show.
Yeah, we were there
We
too.
had Flow Tribe, we had Strange Tang, we had DC alumni, that's Chica J Calcut, and our brother Doug and Larry. So we did a show there.
Didn't we have Okaloosa Sound too?
Okaloosa Sound.
They were there.
I think Okaloosa
Yeah,
Sound.
they open.
And so what's special about that day is that Chris and Sean met at that campground on that day. And now 10 years later, they're not going to be on the river with us.
Hey, they get
Because they're
married.
married.
They get married. On
So-
420.
Hell yeah, love it. Chris, you'll be missed, bro. And I hate to break it to you, but if I get off that river in time, I'm crashing that wedding. So you better not leave me here.
So wait, this whole time I've never known how to pronounce his last name. I've been just butchering it. So say it again for me one time.
Levesque. It's just Chris Levesque. So at
Where do
least-
you get that from? Those letters?
Hey, man, so we're talking about not taking arts and leisure for granted, man. That's art right there. That's word art.
those Frenchies.
What's up? Kika is in the house from Oregon.
Hi, Kika.
Love to see you in the house. Thank you very much. And little guy Livex love y'all. Sean and I are tuned in. Hey, Sean, what's up, girl? Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hey, I'm not sure which one of y'all got the greater catch. I got none but left for both of you. You're both spectacular, outstanding humans.
Nah,
And
Chris won. He won.
he's a winner. Hey, she's beautiful, no doubt, no doubt.
You got your one, bro.
Hell yeah. So, I like to bring it to a place where we can all kind of have an idea of a starting off point. And so I like to have a famous quote each week. And so since we're learning not to take time for granted, I think that this quote right here hits it right on the head, right? Time is the most valuable thing a man can spend. And this Theophrastus lived in Aristotle days, so he wasn't talking. When he said most valuable thing a man can spend, he didn't know 2,000 plus years ago that he was going to get hated on for that. In 2024, time is the most valuable thing a human can spend.
Oh, I get it.
But it's a true thing, it is the most valuable commodity that we're ever going to get our hands on is the hours of the day, and when we're talking about getting busy living and living life on purpose, purposeful, deliberate, and intentional, a lot of people think about what they, how they're going to make ends meet every day, and every day they wake up and their purpose that day is just to make money and just to make ends meet. And it's so easy to get lost in that where because we go after the things that, when we find successes, whether it's alleviating the monthly bills or whether it's making your wife proud or whatever it is, when you start to make money, you start to get in this job thing, you start to get in this grind. And we've talked about the hamster wheel that you can find yourself on many, many times, And what happens for a lot of people is they just keep running on that hamster wheel and then they never, ever take time to appreciate the work that they've put in for themselves.
That's me.
Wow. I think that's a very powerful quote. I think for the time, if we take that same quote and put it into this era of human existence, I think we change the word thing to resource. Time is the most important resource. It's not the most important thing. It's the most important resource because it's literally the one resource on the planet that you cannot make more of. I can make more oil. It may take me 20 million years or however long it takes to make some damn crude oil, but you can make more of that. You know what I'm saying? We have figured out how to make air. You know what I'm saying? We figured out how to make these things, but no one has figured out how to make more time.
Well, and John D. Rockefeller said, well, he's credited with having said that if you spend your whole day working, then you have no time to make money. How you gonna make money if you're working all day?
And along those lines, D-Rex and I were talking about entrepreneurialism and how there's like this contrasting way of going about life. You can work for somebody else and be an employee and you're obligated to their time clock, but you get the security once you clock in. You know you're getting paid, and then sometimes if you're lucky, you got a kind of job where you can get some paid time off. And D-Rex and I were talking about both of us. Neither of us have been clock punchers in quite a while, and so we're kind of like thinking, man, it would be nice to just be able to not work and know we're going to get paid, like having paid time off, like what jobs can get. And then not long after that, we kind of like, well, at the same time, as an entrepreneur, you get to choose when you're taking time off. And if you have set your business up right, there are going to be other people that are not other people, but you'll have a system in place where you actually are kind of getting paid in some way. You know, so what it comes down to, it doesn't matter if you're working a job or if you're an entrepreneur and you have set up a system where the income is coming in. If you aren't taking time to enjoy your life, then you're just busy while you're alive. You're not getting busy living.
And one thing that I've learned, and this is a recent discovery in the last few years for me, is that I was working all the time, just working. I had this second opportunity on life, got my record expunged. I'm clean. I can do all the things I want to do, and I'm working, and I'm exhausted. So when I learned to start scheduling personal time for myself. But because when we back, on topic about what we're talking about, is I had to schedule time just to recover from beating myself into the ground. So even leisure time was not leisure time. It was just, okay, for this 6 hours, I'm not doing anything because I'm exhausted. And that's not really leisure time. I'm not doing something that I enjoy. I had to literally learn how to not only schedule personal time for rest, but also schedule personal time for leisure, because I think that sometimes we confuse cost with value.
Ooh.
There's not always value in what things cost.
True.
You know what I mean? So what I had to learn is, yes, I need this rest time. These 4 to 6 hours, I'm resting, because sleep is not rest. Sleep is sleep. But rest is rest. But outside of that, I had to also learn how to schedule time for leisure. I went to a minor league baseball game last year. The Pensacola Wahoo. Shout out Pensacola Wahoo.
Shout out to the Wahoos.
That was leisure time for me, and there was so much more value in that experience than me just taking some time to rest because I'm tired. Scheduling time to just go outside and not make music, not go to my job, not solve everybody else's problems. It was just me and my girl watching a terrible baseball team and sitting in the heat, but having a great time. Like, I had a great time. To me, that's valuable.
He's being very, very serious when he says he has to schedule everything. Like, we can't even chill unless it's on the calendar. Like, I fly by the seat of my pants. I do what I feel like in the moment. I can't even, man, if it ain't on the calendar, we don't even get up. So if this wasn't on the calendar, we would not be here right now.
And it's crazy that I mean, your way is your way. I am a very structured person. I schedule things because I'm a man of structure. But I also had to schedule personal time. As crazy as that seems, but it's necessary for me to have that time where I'm not taking for granted leisure time, taking for granted my opportunity to be with people. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, he's not lying.
Absolutely. Like Kika said, one cannot buy time on the Walmart shelf or on Amazon. Amen, sister. Amen. My man Key-Rod is in the house.
Hello.
Look at him. Put
hit
me
you
on
with
blast.
your government name, man. That's why you have. That's why you got love for Chris's name, because you got one of them names too.
It's
with
word
all
art, baby. It's word art.
Word art.
Hey,
you know
Sean,
what? Oh yeah, let's say hi to Sean first.
Congratulations. So you were about to say, D-Rex?
Oh, I just wanted to say that every time we have a podcast about anything specifically, as we always do, I like to actually not take it for granted that I fully understand the word. And I look up the strict definition to see, like, is there anything in there that I'm not capturing? And I would like to read you what I found, and then maybe we can pick that apart, okay?
Let's do it.
So these are strict definitions that I did not write. A leisure activity is something you do with your free time that is enjoyable and doesn't feel like work. Now, I know Price has something to say about that because he already said something earlier. So hang on to that thought. It is not work, chores, or errands. It should be relaxing, fun, or engaging, and chosen freely for their own sake rather than because you have to do them. So let's just stop there for a second, because to me, part of that definition sounds like what I like to work on. And I know that my work isn't my leisure time, but I really enjoy working on some of my work so much that I would do it for free in my free time. So I think there's the blur in there.
When P said earlier that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. You know, there's a lot of overlap. You know, we play with words as humans, and communicating is key. So sometimes, you know, you can't two things can be true individually, but sound like they're contradicting each other, right? So maybe it's not work when you enjoy it like that, and you would do it for free in your time that you can choose what you want to do. So yeah, Boozy hit it right on the head. You know, if you love it, then it doesn't feel like work, but we can associate it to work because we maybe make some gains from it. You know, so we might assimilate work as something that gives us gains in our lives, and so even though it might not be something you're making money doing, it's something you enjoy, so you can make gains in that respect. You know, but the important thing is that we are being mindful of it. Like I said, purposeful, deliberate, intentional. So when we have a purpose in our life, that is our essence. That's our legacy. Right? But when you're doing things deliberately, then that's your reputation. That's what people see of you. And when you're doing things intentionally, that's from the inside. That's your perspective, what you see going outward. You know what I mean? So if all of those angles in your life are geared towards, you know, just grinding and making money and buying things and providing, and you never take any time out of that to actually enjoy yourself, like your definition said, things that you would do for free, then maybe you're overworking.
I think that's something powerful that that you said in the definition and what you just said in your explanation. And it was about not taking it for granted. I think sometimes that is the point. Like, one thing that I recently started doing again is playing golf again. And I find these moments.
And he's cold too.
But I find these moments where I can go to the range. And like, I might have worked, you know what I mean? I might have worked a 10-hour shift, and I don't have a studio session at night. So I find myself on the Walton Beach golf course, and I'm on the range. And
it's scheduled.
And we talk about things being work. I mean, working on your game is work. You know what I'm saying? Like, really figuring out this iron play is work. But when we talk about taking it for granted, I don't think I've ever actually took a step back and said, damn, I had the opportunity to stand here on this range and work on my golf game. That is leisure. I've never even thought about it that way. Like, there's literally people in the world that do not have that opportunity or any other thing that they like to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've ever actually like took a step back from the ball and been like, this is kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? I get to fucking do this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was a powerful thing in what you're saying, is something that you do that doesn't feel like work, but also understanding that concept that if you love what you're doing, it's not work. Because I don't know anybody that plays golf and wants to be good at golf that doesn't understand it's a grind. Like, nobody wants to hit the same shot 100 times. You know what I mean? But you got to. But I've never really sat back and been like, damn, I get to do this though.
D-Rex, will you read that definition one more time real quick? I feel like there was a couple of words that I'm like, am I making that up? Is the word obligation in there? Obligated? Like, will you just read it one more time?
Okay, it's not work, chores, or errands. It should be relaxing, fun, or engaging, and chosen freely, done for their own sake, rather than because you have to do them.
So what I heard when I heard that is like, we have these curses. We have it's like a gift and a curse. These things that drive us. These things that this art that we create. I literally have an obligation to create the art. It really, I don't even want to do it sometimes, but I have no choice. So does that still count?
I don't know. I think obsessions, I have them too. I definitely get obsessed every time I take a ceramics class. I can't stop. I cannot stop thinking about it or doing it. And I was that way about music for years, and I was a music producer and a songwriter. So I feel you on that. When it's an obsession, you really don't want to do anything else. But at the same time, it would be healthy if you could step away from your obsession and lay down on a blanket in the park and look up at a tree. And it would be so healthy and so much better to go back to your obsession after that little break. I think that's the leisure that we need to put in there. Obsessions, like, not everybody has one, right? Not everybody has a passion for something.
I think everybody does. I think everybody's not.
Oh, that's
honest with
interesting.
themselves. I don't think everybody's honest. I think everybody's. I'll call it something different. I think everybody's a fucking nerd. I think everybody's a nerd. Everybody's a nerd about something. Some people work on cars. Some people love pottery. We love music. Specifically, I love music technology. Everybody has this thing that when they would do it if nobody ever paid them. That's why they do it when nobody's paying them. Wow. I think that everybody has that. I don't think everybody's honest with themselves about that. That's why a lot of people aren't doing what they love, because they're not being honest with themselves about what they love. Wow. That's just
that's really a cool thought. That's a cool thought, that people aren't really being honest with themselves. Because I think that what gets in the way a lot is that people are told that either they're not good at something, or they're kind of ashamed of the thing that they like. They think that they're going to be judged on it. And a lot of that gets in the way. And, let's back up for a second, because this is something I was talking about on my own channel, or I'm going to talk about this week, is that when you have something like art that you like to do, you kind of get this idea that you're supposed to be doing it so that it can be good. And what happened to just making art for art's sake, for leisure, just allowing it to be what it is instead of putting a judgment on it. And then if it's not good, then you wasted your time, or you shouldn't have done it, or do something else, Why can't it just be?
Wow. Boozy said, I think everyone could have passions, but many times they are untapped. They don't even know what they could be doing. And
they didn't explore.
That's why we want you to come back every third Thursday of the month and tune into the Get Busy Living podcast, because what we're going to be coming at you with each month is another angle. This month it's not taking time and arts and leisure for granted, but each month we're going to have a different category. And what you just mentioned, there is going to be a nature, because that's another thing that we've talked about in the past. And I know, D-Rex, you're huge on the belief that getting out into nature can have a huge impact on your level of happiness and whether or not you're actually alive, busy, or getting busy living. Yeah,
I can't wait to talk on that podcast about that. But, I want to tell you about somebody I met today. She's about, what'd she say, like 83? Sometimes I get into talking to these older ladies because they're pretty interesting. And this was fun. I didn't mean to talk to her. I just happened to be walking by, and she said, hey, if you're not busy on Friday, we're doing a comedy show just right down the street. And I was like, comedy show? I looked at the flyer. Ooh. She's on the flyer. I'm like, you're a comedian? She's like, yeah, I've been doing it a little while. I said, when did you start doing comedy? She said, about 13 years ago.
And she's 80?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Like, how amazing is that? Because so often people are like, I'm too old to start this, and she became a comedian on stage, like in her late 60s.
Have you checked her
out? No, I haven't checked her out yet. I just talked to her this morning.
I bet she's hilarious.
I do find her to be really funny. Even our just exchanges at the gym, we have to wait for the pool to open. Often we end up talking. And I was like, this is hugely inspiring, because you know how many people, they're like, boy, I always wanted to do that, but my time has passed. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Wow.
No, and that's what we're trying to beat
Yeah.
over your head with. Get busy living. She's 83, so when she was 70, she's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do this time. You know what I think I'm gonna do today? Imagine that. Like that's the kind of spirit that I hope that that can fill me and sustain me all the way through seeing this project through, and then well into my 80s. And when I had a dream a long time ago, I was gonna live to be 158 and have 85 grandchildren.
My dog.
And I hope to have that kind of exuberance and bring that with me all the way through. Because listen, we are in the presence of strangers, and almost didn't make it here. And I met these guys when they were still in the. I mean, I don't know really what the time frame was, but I know that the way that you guys expressed yourselves to me and the way that you explained to me how you were not taking this life for granted, because you know what it's like to almost have it taken from you. Right. So you can't go back. Both Price and Bleak have told their stories on this show, but I would like for you guys, having you both here together and like seeing you both on camera at the same time. Would you mind just telling the audience and what it's like to know that tomorrow's not promised? You guys have experience where you saw tomorrow almost taken from you.
Absolutely. So November 2011, our home was tactically assaulted essentially by some ex-GI Joes and his brother and a couple others, and they had walkie-talkies and pepper spray and shotguns and the whole thing, and murdered our best friend, Flower. You'll see him anytime you look at our logo. You'll see the polar bear that's on the logo. That's representative of our boy Flower that's no longer with our brother Flower that's no longer with us. And yeah, man, crazy. I mean, stuff happens. You don't have to be looking for trouble for it to find you. And you can be the nicest person in the world. We're both super nice people. We were literally peacekeepers, peacemakers. We were actually in the process of keeping the peace and keeping we weren't even in. We put ourselves in the line of fire, but we definitely. I don't believe that it was initially intended for us. Obviously, there's a higher power. There's a higher divine ordering of things. So obviously, everything happens the way it's supposed to, but. In a lot of ways, like I said, you don't have to be looking for trouble for it to find you. Tomorrow is not promised. We literally woke up that morning after having had a great month, a great week, a great night before. I mean, we literally lived every day like it was our birthday. And to wake up to someone breaking in your home and blasting in your door and literally tactically assaulting your home. We were a victim of a home invasion. It's something that's eye-opening. It's just completely awakening. I was in a coma for 3 days. I can only imagine what you were going through during that time. I mean, it was crazy. Our best friend got killed. They thought they killed me. They thought they killed him too. They wouldn't have left. I mean, if they thought we were even had a shot. I mean, Mossberg tactical pump shotgun don't usually leave too many people to tell too many stories. And I'm sitting right here with I got a scar bigger than my hand on my, it hit me in the femoral artery, literally in the femoral artery. Wow. Most people bleed out like 7 minutes after that. I made it about 47 minutes up to the University of Kentucky Hospital. And yeah, man, they saved my life straight up. No question about it.
I think in that situation, see, they left because they thought I was dead. I thought I was dead for 2 days. I didn't really understand what happened until I went back to that apartment and I saw where I was taking cover at, and where I was taking cover at, he wasn't shooting at where my head was. He was shooting at where my head was going to be. And the stud in the wall stopped the slug from going through the wall. Wow. And that's why you're talking to me right now.
Wow. It wasn't just an ordinary stud. It was the double stud that you used to make a door frame. Like, so the door, like, it was like literally, and it hit it at the perfect angle. Had it hit it straight on, it probably still would have got him. It hit it at a diagonal. I mean, it was the luckiest, most divine intervention was definitely at play.
And just seeing my brother in the hospital, we had a moment in the hospital that was just like very real to me. Like, he got hit very close to his groin, and him just being like, fuck that. No, look what happened. And just understanding that this man coded out twice.
That's crazy. And
he's still here. You know what I'm saying? going through the process of recovery, seeing the kind of people that cared about us that we didn't even realize, like the people you thought were going to care about you weren't the people that cared about you.
Amen.
It was a whole different it was a whole different village that stepped up to make sure that we were straight. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget those people, and you know who you are.
Amen.
And then just seeing how he dealt with what his recovery was. I remember knowing when he had made it back at least to a place where he was really ready to continue getting busy living. We played basketball. We were basketball players. And I remember the first time we actually played basketball after that shit happened. And he was hurting, but we played some dudes, and we went out there and whooped their ass, dog. Like, really whooped their whole ass, like really gave him work. And he was in pain the whole time, but just seeing him, I remember him starting from learning how to walk again to jogging a little bit to sprinting down the sidewalk to getting on the basketball court. You know what I mean? And just that choice of this thing happened to me, but this right here, I have a choice of how I'm going to live moving forward. That was the biggest thing that I learned in that horrible thing that happened to us. The biggest thing that I learned is that there is just like there's collateral damage, there is collateral fucking beauty. And the only time you get to collateral beauty is if you choose it. You have to be willing to see it. How are we going to respond to this thing? We came to Florida, we were homeless. We slept in a car in Walmart parking lot. We made a choice. He made it. I made it. Everybody in that village that helped us, my ex-wife, they made a choice. He went through something that a lot of people don't come back from. It destroys them mentally. It destroys them physically, in their heart. He made a choice. And there's a lot that people don't know about this dude, but I look at it. He knows, but I don't think he actually knows how I look at him.
A warrior.
You know what I'm saying? It's my big brother. Like, fuck being a warrior, dog. That's a God right here, bro. Like, if God's perfect, I'm not a religious person. But based on the definition of what God is, and if we're made in that image, you can't be that far from that. And I've seen him. I've seen the God in him. And this is real shit, dog.
Amen.
We're having a moment, but this is real, real shit, man.
Sticking
like,
here.
It's important. It's important.
You know what I'm saying? We talking about taking things for granted. Like, when you almost die, you realize how much you've taken for granted. When somebody you love dies and the other person you love almost dies, you realize how much you've taken for granted with those people. So you don't get to meet too many good people in your life. We used to say when we met Flower, we say, you always know when you met a friend.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You don't get that many people. Most people don't. Sweet, I know you got
all the people.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that speaks to your character. But most people don't have that many people that love them that way. And when you meet somebody that you love that way and that love is reciprocated, you cannot take that for granted. I know that's a different episode for y'all.
Wow. Actually, it actually lines up with what's going on in this episode. So I want to get up here. Look at this. A special person introducing another special person. So Ruby said, thanks for joining. Jason, my fiance, is here to meet these special people to me.
What's good,
so
Jason?
Rubes, we miss you. Jason, thank you for tuning in. Take good care of our girl. She's valuable to us. So we will be getting up in it if you don't handle that shit right, Jason. All bullshit aside. Oh, here he is. Look, happy to join, sweetheart. You only invite. Look, see, this is good people right here. This is good people.
And he's clearly a winner. He got him a good catch. I mean, heck, Rubes she's hilarious, man. You think that 80-year-old lady's funny. Wait till Ruby gets about 70 and starts to get on the mic and start doing her comedy stuff. She's hilarious,
she's
man.
Real. My man Isaac Nevins, y'all. Remember Nevins? Nevins was at the 420 Canoe Trip. Remember Nevins?
Yeah.
Nevins, my dog.
I was high.
Yo.
I met Nevins back in like 99, man, or 98, man. Me and this dude go back. And look, all bullshit aside, if there's anybody else that I've ever walked with where I looked next to me and was like, man, this dude's just like me. Like me and Nevins, man. Nevins, my boy.
Sounds like danger.
Like, he looked, I'm telling you, similar sense of humor. Like we met doing the same job at work, and his attitude about doing that job was the same as mine was. Like I'm telling you, bro, I can't wait to see you. I'm gonna see Nevins. He's showing up tomorrow night. He'll be going down
That's
to
what's
Riverway.
up. That's what's up.
Thank you for joining us. Hey, look, so I am excited and just over the roof excited about you guys performing this song. Look, our theme song, I Work for This, was written by these dudes right here. And ladies and gentlemen, in about 4 or 5 minutes, these dudes are going to do this live performance in this studio right here for you. And when I it was a combination of Lyric and D-Rex a few years ago that put this idea of doing this live streaming podcast in my head. And and D-Rex was like, talking to me about branding and how all this stuff goes. And she's been a coach and a co-pilot and a therapist. This girl's worn many hats in this project. But when she was telling me back in the day about branding and about all the elements that you want to include, and the idea of a theme song, came into my head, it didn't take long. It didn't take long for me to know what song I was going to choose to be my theme song. And
he sent that over, and I was like, this is perfect.
The song.
We had to dig in the crates for this one, man.
Man, we had to dig in your brain for that beautiful hook, man.
So before we have you guys do a performance, why don't you talk a little bit about the song and where it came from and what it means to you?
Well, so we made this song back when we were living in Kentucky. This is pre-home invasion. This is were we on? Was it just me and you, or was it the spot we had with Flower?
Man, I think it actually was a spot that we had
down the hill
after
right?
the shooting. I thought this was.
Oh, was it after?
This is after the shooting. This is like new lease on life. Just kind of hell, Barack was still the president back then. It's many moons ago. We talking, back when America was still.
So it's old. It's back before the Strangers. This is when it's just old school Strange Tang, living in Kentucky. Good music, man. But we looked at where we started, and where we were in the journey, and it was like we realized we didn't get here on luck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't get here because we just knew the right people. Like, we fought for every damn inch. And so the creation of it just came. You can't see it when you see me. What I mean? Part of that is that, and I look different now, but back then, like, if you looked at I'm rough around the edges, man. So a lot of times people will look at me and think that I'm a thug or that I'm not intelligent. I've had somebody say to me, I didn't know you were intelligent until I heard you speak. That's crazy to me.
Wow.
You just judged me from what I look like. So that hook coming is like, you can't see it when you see me, but you got to believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. No, I work for this.
I love it.
Word for this.
Love it.
And we back then we crafted everything together. So putting that together in the studio was nothing. We had a residential studio then too. We didn't get evicted out of that motherfucker.
Right. What's funny is we've told the story about how I met y'all and how we clicked and all that jazz and how our brotherhood started. But I literally went back to Pennsylvania with like a dozen or two copies of the A.
I remember this story.
And not a little one.
So whenever I go to, like even right now, I'm back in Florida. Like, I've spent the past couple of days like cruising and picking up my people and visiting. And when I go back to Erie, same thing, man. And each one of my boys that jumped in my ride, I was like, yo, I got something to show you. And I pop in the A. And I'm telling you, the A is still in heavy rotation back in Erie, PA. So if there's anybody in the crowd that has a copy of the A, the Strange Tang CD that I came back to Erie with, give us a shout out. But hey, while you guys are getting ready to do this performance real quick, I'm gonna pull a couple comments up here because we got some interaction going on here.
Nice.
So,
Bet. All I gotta do is play.
Lil Boozy, every day we get choices, and then Ruby said, "Oh, I thought I was gonna lose you, sweet. No, man, I can't be killed. It's proven."
Yeah, I kind of knew. It's like as soon as I heard, I was like, if anybody's gonna overcome this, it's Swede.
I tell you what, man, that fills me up to hear you guys say that, and I didn't know that back then. And you don't know. You don't know what you're capable of. I have a plaque on my wall that was from one of my friends from this area. Casey sent me a plaque. It's a Bob Marley quote. It says, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have." And so I'm not exaggerating when I say, people come at me all the time talking about I'm an inspiration, and when things are going wrong in their life and they're having a hard day, I'm thankful that people think of me, but my inspiration comes from y'all, like especially you guys, because believe me, when it was time to fight and fighting was all I could do, I was thinking about, I know people that have seen, this darkness and didn't let it get to them. So I wasn't about to let it get to me. And look at Jason, he's like, I got this. She's amazing. Yeah, I win.
You win, Jay.
I love it. And yeah, Nevins, it was back in '99. Crazy.
Taking over for the 99 and the 2000.
Yeah, so I woke up a couple months later and started going back through all that stuff, all the digital stuff that was going on back then with the fundraising, and I saw that Swedes backbone of stone. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a hashtag back then. For real. All right, y'all. You ready? You ready to give the audience the best part of the show, the highlight of the show?
Yeah, we got to do it.
All right, y'all. So
somebody got to get back to work.
every time you tune in to this podcast, you hear this song. This is I Work for This by Strange Tang. That's Oblique the Architect and Price on the mic. We're going to do it just like that live on the show.
Yeah.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
Man.
Push play.
Hey, you go ahead and hit that.
We doing it.
Yeah.
Get Busy Living
It's out of
podcast.
character because we usually jumping all over the place and everything, so we kind of relegated to these seats.
You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. No, I fucking work for this. I fucking work for this. You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. No, I fucking work for this. I fucking work for this. You gotta excuse the way my team feel. I mean, we work so damn hard to make this dream real. We eat, drink success with never ending refills. We come from nothing, you can't tell us we ain't keep real. While we build, look at my life, look at my star, look at my struggle, now look at my heart. Look at my gains, look at my losses. Work too hard to work in the office. My whole life I beat the odds. My whole life I've been a boss. Pay my dues, earn my stripes. The road I paid to cross. So excuse the way my team act. I mean, excuse the way we pop bottles, kiss Keisha, ride around, lean back. We remember how it felt to see the face sign. We put in work, so we deserve to have a great time. You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. I fucking work for this. Fucking work for this. You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. No, I fucking work for this. Fucking work for this.
How come nobody writes songs by working hard all the live long day with low wage and no raise? Ain't got no benefits, no insurance, no 401k. I'm talking about regular people, never an extra dime for which to save for rainy days. So many of those, Obama gon' make a change, at least we thought so. But he can't change us, only we can change we. Only you can change you, and only me can change me. So every day when you're talking to that man in the mirror, tell him that if you're not taking steps forward, then you're nearer to the rear of the line. Cause we're marching over here, bro. Instead of they climbing that mountain, we too high, we cannot hear you. What you say? You gonna have to speak up. The poundiness in my trunk sound like somebody is getting beat up. If it were me, you wishing to keep up, then you must pick your feet up. I've been known to steal the show, although I'm only just a feature.
You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. No, I fucking work for this. I work for this. You can see it when you see me, but you gotta believe me. Ain't nothing coming easy my way. No, I fucking work for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, big EU, not the little one. Get Busy Living
How-
podcast.
How
Out here. That's what I'm
exciting
talking
to
about.
have you guys here performing that. It's so special to us.
I'm telling
Thank
you,
you
that
so
song
much.
gives me chills. And every time I go to mess around with this podcast in any way, shape, or form, I always, use this audio, and I feel like I'm working for this. Like you guys have inspired me in that way. Like every time I put any kind of effort into this, I have that song playing in my head.
Well, and what sucks is speaking of work, I actually am I'm on my lunch break right now, so I actually got to get back in. I've been working like a Haitian, man. I literally I had to DJ last night at Coasters from like 10 to 1. I woke up this morning, had to obviously take the babies to school, and then at 10 o'clock this morning, I was actually DJing again. There was an open house up in Freeport or something to that, almost damn near Freeport. DJing for a realty company for their open house, and then of course get done with that and rush to my real job from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock tonight. So I'm actually on my lunch break right now, and I got to get back in there. I'm so mad that I'm not going to be able to make the canoe trip because I'm working. I'm always working. It's a poor me, right? I gotta go DJ for another realty thing in the morning, and then that night, of course, or that evening, I have to DJ up down here at the old Swizzle Stick on Okaloosa Island, and then we'll be in Niceville at our show. We're about to tear that standing room only. We're about to tear that thing down, and I'm so upset that I'm gonna miss the canoe trip because I literally, getting busy living. You've been talking about that since long before you got hurt.
For sure.
And that was one of the things that I always you taught me how to party. I thought I could party. I thought I knew how to party. Swede taught me how to party. I don't know if you've ever been with Swede.
Swede taught me how to recover.
That one beer bounce is
OBB,
man, that
baby.
OBB. And you know what? I need some of that recovery juice. You got some of that juice? Yeah, Swede's
Swede's the one that put me on the blueberries, man. He put me on the blueberries, man. It saved my life multiple times.
Antioxidants.
Exactly. I think it's beautiful that you put it like that because you are grinding. You got souls to feed, and you're beating the streets. But notice that he's put time in there. He's got a show to do. So even though he's working for this, you still are making time to be able to enjoy your life, bro. And I appreciate that. Much love. Thank you for coming,
brother. I
being
love
a
you.
part of this show. I can't say enough how much I appreciate you and love you. Go back, get
brother,
that thing.
I love you.
Hell yeah.
Thank
you very much. By the way, Kiro's he's like, I got it. Boozy said the 814 in you, Swede. Look, these guys know me from way back. Much love, my bro. Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you so much, guys.
Be safe.
So that's how it is over here in the Fort Walton Beach, Strange Tang, putting it down, letting you know that they're working for it. Price, go get that, bro. And hey, we'll catch up for sure before you get out of here. And he's just putting his gear together and getting it. So, Bleak, thank you very much for making an appearance on this show. D-Rex, thank you very much. And for all of you guys that are in the comments, if you guys got any comments or anything you want to say to Bleak and to Price, now's your chance to express yourself. Look at FGM's in the house with a whole bunch of hearts. We heart you too.
I got something I want to say. I find it so inspiring that you guys, you have your hustles, but when you take time for yourself, you use it to create art and share it with the world. And I don't take that for granted that you guys do that. You spend your time well and trying to uplift others. So respect.
Thank you. Word. For real. Thank you, man. I don't think people understand, when something's in you, it's in you. There's so many times I quit music, because at the time I was doing it for the wrong reasons. But when it's something that you need, when it's in you, it always brings you back. It always brings you back. And every time I feel like it brings me back better. I think right now is the best time for me in my life to be creating the art that I create because now I'm just doing it for me. There's no extras.
Speaking of which, it's ironic that Price just came in here in his work clothes. So so you guys got a song?
Work clothes.
So
this story, this is one of my favorite stories because it's it's so true. I was managing liquor stores at the time. He's sales director at a hotel. We had a show in Atlanta, and we used to write a lot of our songs while we were on the road. Right. So literally, I got off work, he got off work, we jumped in the whip, and we're driving to Atlanta, and literally we're going through the beats that we have, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure out a song so we could write this song on the way up there. And literally, we just looked at each other, and we played this. It's kind of it's a hip hop kind of reggae beat, and literally this hook just came out because we're in our work clothes going to do another show the same day. We had to perform that night. Yeah. So we got off work. We had 5 hours to get to Atlanta. So literally, we make this song about doing it in our work clothes.
How's the chorus go? It's
it's an old song.
So where do people...
Jay Rich song in my work clothes. I don't remember.
That. So where do people go to see your music?
So you can search Strange Tang on any platform. That's STRANGETANG. That's 2 words. We're also members of the Strangers. Strangers is kind of what we're pushing right now. The Strangers of Elevated Underground.
Lots of talent.
But anything that you want to find from us, you just go to our label website, elevatedunderground.com. All of our music videos are on there. Links to all of our streaming platforms are on there. Our merchandise is on there. Anything Strangers is on there. Our blog is on there. So you just, that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bleak. Since the day I met you, man, you've been inspiring me. You like, oh. So that's telling us that our hour is up. But before I go, I gave Price a peace out. I got to say the same thing to you, brother. I appreciate you. You inspire me.
Yes, sir.
I love you like a brother. And man, the lessons that I've learned from you from our talks, man, like that first canoe trip we went on, and we sat down by the water, and remember that? Yeah, that was deep, bro. I'll never forget that, man.
Man.
So
I remember D-Rex. You don't know this. Me and Sweet, when we first met, he met Price first. And then Price introduced me to him. But the first time we met, it was awkward as hell.
Because he was like, I was, me and Price have been talking all weekend, like, and you get me and Price together, there is not a moment of silence, like, and then Price like telling me about Bleak, and like I'm just can't wait to meet this dude, and then he shows up, and the dude didn't say a damn word for the first 2 hours.
I was observing. I'm like, who is this dude?
Look at this. He's like, look at this guy. Who are the Price who brought me over to this dude's house?
And then he started playing Outkast, and I was like, I like this one.
Hell yeah. So look, y'all, really, man, I don't think that there's been a duo that has touched me like Outkast until you guys, man. So I got so much love for you, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for making a home for us in Elevated Underground Studio. Thank you for performing live for us. D-Rex, thank you for showing up every single week.
Always.
You are my rock. I can't say that enough. I mean it. So come back every third Thursday from now on, y'all. We're going to be doing the Get Busy Living podcast the third Thursday of every single month at 9 Eastern. Next month, we're going to have another episode about things that you cannot take for granted if you want to get busy living. In the meantime, always remember, no matter the weather, whether sunshine or rain, there's no joy without pain. Always remember, we're all in this together. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But you gotta believe